Good evening, everyone. Today, myself, Dr. Saurabh Sikdar, will demonstrate on the histology of pancreas. We know pancreas is called the mixed gland as it is involved to regulate the hormonal regulation chiefly by secreting insulin and glucagon. Other than that, they have immense role in our body, chiefly the human body. So, first of all, we have to specifically try to know what is the morphology and what is the origin point of the pancreas. And in this picture you can see it is simply located at the junction of duodenum. And if you look at the morphological structure of this gland, you can see it look like the leaf of a plant, and the most broadened part, which is called the base, which is chiefly attached with the duodenum. Along with that, whenever you go towards the forward, it is really narrower, and the middle part is known as the body, and the end part is known as the tail. And morphologically, it has the three parts, but 98% of this part is contain the exocrine part. It is known as the mixed gland because it contains both exocrine and endocrine parts. So 98% of the body, that is from the base or head to the middle part or body, it contains the exocrine part, and the unit of exocrine part is called acini or acinar cells, and rest of the 2% is contained in the tail part or very narrower or short part, and it is the endocrine part. So 98% is the exocrine part, which is not involved to release any hormones, rather it is involved for secretion of some digestive juice that is called pancreatic juices. And the last very small part, that is 2% part, contain the endocrine part, which is known as islets of Langerhans. Sorry, but still this 2% part has immense role to maintain the physiological activity, including the release of insulin and glucagon, like two important hormones to maintain the homeostasis within our body. So next, this is the histological structure of the mammalian pancreas, and the TS of mammalian pancreas, this picture easily give the idea that this violet or pink colored chip cells spreaded throughout the slide is the acini, or the interior, most interior fragmented parts, which are the acinar cells, which is uninucleated. And these acinar cells or acini spreaded throughout the section of pancreas. As we know, 98% this part actually contained within the pancreas, mammalian pancreas, and rest a very few amount of cells are there within the very small part of the mixed gland or pancreas, that is called the islets of Langerhans. And here it is islets, like the island, it presents within the lots of diversified acinar cells, and this small part is known as islets of Langerhans. But these islets of Langerhans has four different types of cells, that is A or alpha cell, B or beta cell, D or delta cell, and PP cell or pancreatic polypeptides. So these four cells are very, very important. Although the PP cells has no role in human still, but the other three cells, that is alpha or A cell, B or beta cell, or D or delta cell, has immense significance to maintain the physiological regulation within the body of mammals, chiefly in the humans. As it is very small part, but still it has immense role. Now I am going another slide which give you the glimpses of the alpha cells or glucagon producing cells. That means this alpha cell, which present nearly 60%, which involved for the glucagon hormone synthesis and secretion, and beta or B cells which present alpha or SL, which present in nearly 20 to 25%, which release the glucagon hormone, and beta or B cells, which is actually present in high amount here. Here it is, that is, they are involved for release of insulin hormones, and present in 60 to 65%. Rest 5 to 10% they are D or delta cells, which is involved for the somatostatin hormone to maintain the balance of insulin and glucagon. Rest 0% is PP, 0 to 2% is PP cell or pancreatic polypeptide, which is never found normally and which has no role in the human physiological regulation. Now the pancreatic disorder, it is very important along with the histological demonstration, because pancreas act as the both or dual role, exocrine part and endocrine part. But in relation to the exocrine part, the pancreatic acinar cells involved for pancreatic juices release, and if it is in the abnormal condition, that if the pancreatic juices started to backflow, if they are not properly involved for digestion, help in digestion, there will be some abnormality that is called pancreatitis, that is inflammation in the pancreas, and there will be some problem in the pancreas. And blockage also occur in the ducts, and that's why the pancreatic juices cannot properly release, rather it backflow and enter within the pancreas again. Sorry. Then the cystic fibrosis will occur, that is thick secretions of the block flow or backflow of the pancreatic juice. There will be some thick secretions also occur, and it causes another syndrome that is called cystic fibrosis. And there will be the formation of cancer, that is called the pancreatic cancer, if the pancreatic acini not properly release the pancreatic juices through the ducts to maintain the digestion of differential foods. And in relation to the endocrine part, that is islets or Langerhans, involve the islets, involve the insulin and glucagon secretion to mainly maintain the sugar level or glucose level or carbohydrate level within the body. But in relation to the glucagon, involved for the increment of the glucose level, and insulin involved for the decrease level of glucose, and they maintain the balance between these two, and the balance of these two hormones maintained by the third one, that is called somatostatin. But if there is any abnormality or dysregulation of insulin and glucagon, there will be some diseases will occur, that is called type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes also. Although there are basically type 1 and type 2 diabetes are there throughout the world, and among these two, type 2 diabetes is very dreaded, that is nearly 85 to 89% today throughout the world, or globally it is established nearly 85 to 88%. Normally type 1 diabetes is occurred basically by immune mediated beta cell destruction. That means if anybody has no beta cell, or beta cell may be destroyed or distracted due to some accidental case, there will be the problem occurred. Some issues occur in relation to the insulin disbalance, that is called the diabetic type 1. But the type 2, which is very common one globally, that is due to the insulin resistance or the insulin deficiency. That means the beta cell is there, but beta cell either they lost the capability to release or synthesize the insulin, or insulin may be not properly produced, that's why insulin not produced or released within the blood, that's why it cannot be regulate properly the glucose level in the body. So these are of two types of diabetes. One is diabetes type 1, another is diabetes type 2, and diabetes type 3, which is very uncommon, which is due to the genetic defects of beta cell function, genetic defects of insulin action, like that. And the pancreatitis I have already mentioned, not discussed here in details. So diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is a chronic disease, a lifelong disease, and you have some problems in diabetes mellitus, like kidney problems, some eye blinding problem, vision problems, excess thirst is there, fatigue, you have some fatigueness, not accessible to do all the walks, frequent urination, hunger, weight loss, all are the common symptoms of the diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is of again two types. Type 1, that is insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, that is IDDM, where the selective beta cell destruction and severe or absolute insulin deficiency are there. And type 2, which is also very common, that is called non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, that is NIDDM, where the insulin is produced by the beta cells, it is inadequate. Okay, that means beta cells are there and they always produce the insulin, but it is not so much eligible to maintain the balance of the glucose. That's why it is inadequate, and that's why you have to take the insulin from outside through some injections or some medications. That's why the insulin level will be normal, and that's why you can survive to maintain the balance of the insulin and glucose. And this is the process of flowchart of diabetes mellitus, how it is occurred. There is abnormal insulin sensitivity, which occur the hyper insulinemia, and then there will be the formation of central obesity, that is called insulin resistance syndrome. These are the physical inactivity that's called, and weight gain will occur. And if the progressive loss of beta cells are there by some genetic factors, high glucose level, high free fatty acids, then they form the impaired glucose tolerance, and that's why there will be formation of diabetes mellitus. And I have already mentioned these two types, IDDM and NIDDM, not discussed in details now. And this is the another flowchart which gives the idea more details about the type 2 diabetes occurrence. That means the pancreas is there. If the sufficient insulin secretion is there within the bloodstream, there will be increased glucose in the bloodstream, and muscle unable to do the glucose due to insulin resistance. So there will be the obesity, inheritance, pattern of traits, and other factor leading to insulin resistance. So this is another factor of that. And the ultimate symptoms and the side effects of diabetes mellitus is the neuropathy, retinopathy, hypertension, dyslexia, genetical disorders, diabetic foot diseases, neuropathy, ischemic heart diseases, all are there. So diabetes mellitus nowadays is a very common syndrome, and if this will occur, the human being will be affected with other type of diseases because it is very allied with the other types of diseases, other types of organs. So you have to make precautions if you try that your body will not be get affected by diabetes mellitus. So these are some very brief informations about the pancreas histology, along with that the allied problems in regarding the very dreaded disease diabetes mellitus today. So thank you very much for this lecture, for your patience to hear my lecture. And if any questions are there, please contact me with my email ID. My email ID is mailshowrobin@gmail.com. I repeat, mailshowrobin@gmail.com. Thank you so much.